Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hey, this is our Christmas edition of Class L Probe. We've never done one so close to Christmas before, so I'm excited about this tonight. And not only that, we're moving from 3 to 4. This is a big monumentous event tonight. Man, my job is to keep us to 20 minutes each. Now I have to keep us to 15 minutes each.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's the holiday edition, as you said.
And as we know, I do tend to go on a bit.
Maybe sometimes, Dave. That's okay. You know, I've got my whole history of the world and philosophy. Everything's right here at my fingertips, ready to check your facts. You know,
so wonderful.
So Heather, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I thought that since I just posted in the comments for the entirety of the last episode, maybe I could join you on the show. And here I am. Thanks for inviting me. I invited myself, but thank you anyway.
We're happy to have you.
You're like the Vulcans. We're just so happy you're here.
Yes. That's right. So for everybody out there, this is...
I'll do exactly what we tell you, just like the Vulcans.
Yeah, well, don't the Vulcans tell us what to do? This is what Heather's here for. She's here to tell us what to do.
Exactly.
That's true.
So...
Actually, that's your job, Adam. So where should we go?
Let's get started, guys. So this is the big title of this episode, Just a Little to the Past. We have some great stuff to talk about. A little bit of tiny
Christmas past, if you will.
Christmas past. Sure. So Class L Probe, an opportunity for us to talk about Star Trek and different conversations, debates we've had in the past, but just have some really in-depth conversation and how we get to the arguments we get to, and then really try to convince each other in a different kind of way to agree with each other. So let's get started. Dave, I'm starting with you again today because you have I think the most interesting topic, and I actually went back and watched the first episode of that two-parter.
Oh. Well, life is short. Why not dessert first? So is being at the whim of the Krenim timeship a worse fate than being assimilated by the Borg? We just need to sneak the probe past Worf and we're all set.
Oh, crap. You're right. We didn't launch our probes. We're not going to find out anything this way.
Jeez. Stunning range of 150 million kilometers. Class L probe.
Did you guys hear that?
Nope.
Nope. It was a stealth probe.
I blame him.
Although it did chase away.
Heather ran
away. Maybe it was misaimed.
The probe. You guys just hear Worf there?
I just heard Worf scuppering on ideas.
Yeah, he tried to destroy our probe. It was his fault. All right, let's try this again.
Excellent. Aha! You've replicated yourself a hat.
I'm going to replicate a hat too. Go ahead. I'll be right back.
So, right. Yeah, so what do we think here? Is being at the whim of the Krenim timeship worse than being assimilated by the Borg? One of the things that really sticks out to me about this question is this scene where I forget whether it's in the first or the second part, but they run into this other vessel and they keep saying, last week we were this, and now they have some sort of memory of being reconfigured or something, as I recall. And the utter horror of that sense of just being molded and remade time and time again to somebody's whim. It feels like it has a similar kind of resonance to being with Q or in the sort of terror episode of Voyager, but just so much more horrible because everything is rewritten around you,
Interesting about this episode is they wanted it to be a whole season, so that would have been something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Heather and I had a conversation about this, ironically, about these timeline episodes where they kept flipping the topic or the plot of the episode, and I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like Year of Hell? You don't like these episodes? These two?
I don't like
so what is it that Is it that they're like boring? Is it that they're revolting? What is it that you're not liking?
It's the repetitiveness of it. It's like it seems a little bit lazy to me. Because you're dealing with the same consistent story over and over again with a little twist every time. And maybe it's fun for the writers to do this. What happens if we go this way? It's like Choose Your Own Adventure, Dave. Remember those books?
Oh, I love Choose Your Own Adventure.
I read a lot of those.
Steve Jackson games. Ooh,
Yep.
that was good
Right.
fun right there.
Every
analog computer game.
Every path, whatever page you take or whatever, when you go to a different page, and it seems like that to me. I just don't love them.
See, Adam, normally I'm with you there on timey-wimey stuff because, like, I just feel like as soon as something gets timey-wimey, all the stakes are removed, generally. But for Year of Hell, I actually find this to be one of the exceptions. I kind of quite like this one. And I thought it was the idea of this ship that's just trying to perfect this time reset. I found that a very new and interesting concept. To me, anyway, it was.
Well, that
I
part of it, there's this essential failure that actually characterizes it from even before Voyager gets there. To me, was really interesting. That's for sure.
I mean, before we haven't even gotten into the point of this question yet, but can I just say I didn't get to watch the full episodes like you two did. But I managed to get like 10 minutes into the first one because I was going to try to sort of cram it in while like cooking supper. And it didn't work out. But I watched like the first 10 minutes. And let's just say it starts off with Anorax declaring his madness. Like, because they bring him the 98% thing. And he snaps at the guy for saying it's a complete restoration. He's just like, choose your words. Like, it'll never be complete. And then he tells them to get back to work. But he's like, because they need to save every blade of grass and everything needs to come back. And dude's just like, dude, you literally just said that'll never happen. Madness. And that's like where the conversation ends. Like, it's madness. He's mad. Like, so it starts off with like, you can't really relate to him as a character because he's completely mad. But I find it a pretty good story otherwise. But it's a good question. This is a question I brought to Debate Night one time, actually. So I've never got to talk about it before because I was the judge on that one.
Heather, what do you think? Before we get into the topic here.
What do I think of the episodes?
Yeah.
Or what's my
opinion about this?
You got to watch them both. What did you think of the episodes?
They're great. I love timey-wimey stuff. I'm into it. So I really like that. And I thought that Kurtwood Smith delivered a fine performance. But
he did.
As for the question, which is worse, they're both hell. They're both awful in a way that you have no control over. You have no agent, whether you're being hurtled through time repeatedly at somebody's whim or you're being assimilated.
One you're aware of is happening to you and one you aren't. But it's like hard to judge how aware you are of being assimilated once you're assimilated.
Well,
they all seem to be pretty happy with it once they're assimilated.
I kind of thought of that as well because I was like, Borg, love being Borg, amazing. Yeah. I'm a Borg. We're the pinnacle of all civilization, and this is great. I'm having a nice time. I got a cool implant. It's good.
The only Borg who doesn't.
On the other hand, you never
a Borg was Picard, as far as we know.
Yes.
Right. And I wonder whether that's because he had. Because he seems to have been this sort of speaker role, right? Like Locutus and Borg. I am like Locutus sum Borg is Latin, right?
Mm-hmm.
She seemed to leave him some of his humanity on purpose,
right? Like there's some individuality left to him
to
access, right?
Yeah.
And that seems a peculiar kind of hell. Like he's lonely even among the Borg in a weird way.
He's lonely among humans on his crew.
At least he's consistent. Yeah. There's something you were talking about there, Davin, from the start about sort of every blade of grass made me think of the old it's sort of a dark mirror of the beautiful Buddhist vow of the Bodhisattva, right? Which is this person who could easily ascend to nirvana, the state of anatman, the sort of selfless beyond, but chooses to return to the cycle of reincarnation until every blade of grass is enlightened, as is the vow, right? Which is, in that sense, pictured as a sort of beautiful ultimate sort of self-sacrifice in the interest of the whole. But this Krenim time machine is like a kind of dark inversion of that, where this radical perfectionism and drive to obtain this, as we know from the start, sort of futile, unassailable goal is just going to reconfigure and make and do with the plasticity of things around it in time. In this just absolutely diabolical fashion. Yeah.
And on another level, it also made me think of Tully and Soren willing to sacrifice everything, worlds, people, planets, for his own selfish reason of wanting to get back to the Nexus. And
It's very much the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and Anorath isn't doing any of this for the betterment of anyone except him and what he wants and the person who's important to him.
His wife, and his kid. That's all he wants to restore.
Yeah, it finally
he moved them to the outskirts of their empire. So, like, in all these resets, like, they keep getting these sweet empires, but not this super friggin' outpost wherever he was. Like, so it's like he kind of cursed himself by, like, being on the fringes of his empire in a way. Like, you can see his guilt. He realizes everything's his fault. Like, even this time ship, that's all him. Like, it's all been his idea. And, like, man, what a weaver of power and influence that guy is. But as far as to take a bite out of this question, so Borg, so that's the thing. Like, the worst part of all of these scenarios is the actual act of assimilation. I think we can agree that seems horrible. Like, nobody seems to enjoy that. As far as about enjoying Borg once you're a Borg, man, assimilation seems rough. They didn't make that easy on anybody. Like,
no, they're not really concerned about your sensory input at that point.
No,
not at all.
No, assimilation is awful, and they come at you with weird, like nodule thing.
They put things in your eyes. You don't like that either.
No.
I never get through. I get to that point. I'm just here.
Listen, I close my eyes every single time, and the most recent time I watched that movie, I timed it wrong, and I opened my eyes and looked just as the thing was touching me.
I can't even watch you do that.
Cursed! I cursed myself. It was very upsetting. Yeah. So, do I want to do timey-wimey things and erase the existence of entire civilizations, or do I want a drill in the eye?
Oh shit! Now that was
neither.
Difference.
So I'm trying to build up the Borg side first here in this.
Well, as a viewer,
yeah. So
I would.
Go ahead.
I can't take the timey-wimey stuff. I all hands abandoned ship. I can't take it over. And
what about if you're not knowing it's happening? So what if there's timey-wimey episodes, but you don't have to watch them?
Maybe that's happening. But some way I kind of know every one of them, and I'm aware of them over and over and over and over and over and over. Again, look, if you don't know either is happening to you, what does it matter?
But
well, I mean, if you come out on a bad timeline and your planet has like this plague or something, that's not great. But you wouldn't know it's every time,
every half an hour.
Still suck.
Well, the people on Anorak's crew know it's happening because
they're
with him.
But they're also shielded from any effects of it. So, like, they've been doing it for 200 years. Like, they're outside of time. They've been on this ship 200 years trying to do this.
Well, what about the guys? They experience repetition in a different way, right? Because they know how many resets they've done.
But Star
Yeah.
Trek
Even if
2009,
they're
another one
weirdly-
where Nero's
Yeah,
crew-
they're not. Weird. So until they pop out of that bubble, like they're
Yeah.
not even in that new timeline. They've just.
But then they're waiting 25 years for Spock to show up. Like, that's a long time.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, this other thing about being, I'm trying to build up the Borg point here for a minute. So let's just grant that once you're a Borg, you don't mind being a Borg, but that being assimilated is the worst friggin' thing ever. I would also add that Borg, while they still like being a Borg, seem to still remember being assimilated, and that must be an awful memory.
Well,
So
the
they're
stuff we
not
learn
wiped
about the
clean of
human
that.
matrix and things later on seems to point to the fact that there's not a perfect suppression of.
Yeah, some Borg don't like being Borg. Yeah, it's not just Picard.
It's not
Some of them
entirely unproblematic, but I think the themes that have kind of struck me jumping out from what you guys are talking about is that one is partly like the horror we're talking about is one of consciousness and agency, right? In one sense, there's like a total loss of agency, while if you're Locutus or somebody like that, there's a retention of self. You're just kind of locked in while everything's happening. On the other side, there's a more sort of cosmological loss of agency where you don't even remember it's happened necessarily, and
it may wipe you out entirely.
It could.
It may
Yeah,
just
it could
land
be
on a
deleted.
timeline that you're not even in.
Yeah, and in once, like, to me, sort of there's a sense logically where the Krenim style is worse because of like the sheer kind of fecklessness of it over those spaces, whereas the
scope.
Borg have a kind of predictability and a relentlessness. You can also reverse being assimilated, whereas with the Krenim stuff, unless you somehow take out the Krenim ship or that sort of thing happens, it's just sort of impossible.
And remember that being assimilated is so bad that Jean-Luc Picard, having been assimilated himself, didn't think twice about putting that crew member out of his misery when he was being about like becoming assimilated. Like and they went to and they've saved people from being Borg, himself included, before, but he's just like, no, being assimilated is rough. Like,
yeah.
So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying about like this cosmological agency. Like you feel like that's worse, but
I'm not
but
sure
in
about
the end,
worse, but
you
it's just
wouldn't
like
know. You just wouldn't know.
And that's the trouble. And ultimately, I think that's where we come back to Heather's point about the people in the ship are the kind of storehouse for that accumulated horror of like the repeated responsibility and complicity and collusion in that cycle. But yeah.
What if I put it to you this way? What if you lived your entire life? You lived to be 102. It was a wonderful life. All while, which many people have done, or at least maybe not 102, but lived, very long lives. All the while, this Krenim timeship shenanigans is going on. Now, imagine you lived that same 102-year-old life, but you were assimilated by the Borg. Which was a better life? So it's individual in that way. Like some people might be wiped out by a Krenim timeship, but a lot of people are just going to live a long, happy life all while that crazy shit's going on.
Yeah, at the phenomenological level, I think you're probably right. At the sort of like larger ethical level, the Borg are just out there kind of like happily genociding everybody to fulfill their
But
own.
at the same time, Anarax is kind of worse than the Borg.
On a personal level, maybe.
Like,
sorry, we're just
in the
kind
way
of ping-ponging back and forth here. What are
well, I mean, listen, if you're just gone out of existence,
that sucks for you.
What's the difference? You've lost your id.
Would you rather be just snapped out of existence? Not that you can, consider it after the fact or anything, but would you rather be snapped out of existence or assimilated by the Borg?
Snapped out of existence, 100%.
I would agree.
Oh.
But like, Dave's just like, I kind of want to feel like what it's like to be a Borg for a few
I
minutes.
kind of like to know what
No,
the
I mean,
being
what
part of the
it
club
really
is.
prompts me to is the real terror of true oblivion. The real terror
but
of
you wouldn't
not
know.
existing at all.
But like when you listen to, like, remember Hugh when they came upon Hugh? I can't remember what episode it was called, but he's describing the collective as this calmness. This, you guys are together. You always know what to do. Everybody's like one, moving forward as one purpose. Like, it sounds
killing others. I would rather be snapped out of existence than be forced to commit genocide against many more people.
Oh, no, but you're assimilating because it's the right thing to do, because you're going to bring peace to them and organization and harmony and take the best of the world.
Is Adam a Borg? Like, is that what's happening here?
Have you ever seen a Borg?
Are we getting assimilated right now?
Crypto
Other than the Borg Queen, have you ever seen a Borg that radiant in your life?
No.
That's true.
This is a pitch. This is a pitch for assimilation. This is soft assimilation right now.
He's good, isn't he?
I know.
I mean,
it's kind
coming from Canada, this is a peculiar conversation.
Tell me more. Assimilate me, Space Daddy.
I can bring you guys into harmony with me. It'll be fantastic. Let's go.
Let me take this drill at your eye, and everything will be
fine.
Dave.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
You can assimilate me, but no eye drills.
You don't control that. They might eye drill.
All right. So what are we all thinking, guys?
They don't have a good petition system.
Oh God.
Let's wrap this one up here.
I mean, I think for me, the thing that I think we've actually distinguished here is that this may be an apples and oranges question. In fact,
it is kind of
like when we really drill down, because the Krenim timeship stuff is really like large scale ethical consideration. Like, how do you do that? Because you don't have observers from inside. And the other one is very much, personal horror from inside an evil machine.
How long do drones live?
I think ultimately I fall on the side of the Borg on this question.
You do, eh?
Yeah, I think, in that ultimately the Krenim timeship becomes a kind of archaeological or historiological problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 29th century problem in some ways, or 26th century problem.
So you think it's worse to be assimilated by the Borg?
I mean, ultimately, I think so. What I ended up thinking about in the sense in the question of the terror of oblivion is actually Socrates' response to his accusers when they finally find him guilty, and they're just like, "You're going to have to drink hemlock." He says, "Well,
I love that. I
mean, you can consider it this way: either I will drink the hemlock, and I will cease to be, and it will be like, well, have you ever had a dreamless sleep? How beautiful! And if not, I'll go to the underworld, and I'll find Heracles and Theseus and Perseus, and ask them my same questions. You will never stop me, and you will remain depraved."
Yeah, I was about to say Socrates is totally like, "Yep, you can kill me, but I'm still smarter than you. Peace out."
He's like, "You're not going to stop me." But
yeah, it's like
the sense of that dreamless sleep is really what tipped me to the side of the Borg.
Yeah. Heather, I'm with you on this one. I was just like, I don't want to be used against my will. I mean, you could be snapped into a timeline where you're like a crazy evil person anyway, I guess, maybe. Like, we didn't really consider that. So crap, that sucks. But I just don't want to be assimilated. It seems awful. It really feels awful. But the Krenim thing, like, Anorax is worse because he's affecting everyone, and it's like, well, they never really showed the range of that. Like, I don't know if he's affecting the Alpha Quadrant with his kind of thing or what, or if it's just his area of space, which seems to be the focus.
I think he was affecting several hundred parsecs, but
at least, yeah.
like
But it's not like everybody in the whole universe or anything. So yeah, no, yeah, Borg's worse. The Borg's worse because they'll get to everyone eventually.
Mhm.
So you waiting for me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm. You guys taught me into it. I don't want to be assimilated. I'd just rather be Dave. I want my dreamless sleep. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
That
Not
sounds
crunch
good.
numbers for some queen who's very sexy, but it's probably not going to give you the time of day.
No, I'm not going to get the time of day for the queen. She's a little
I'm
slimy.
not talking about. No, you might. I meant a drone in general. You probably would.
No. She's too slimy. Okay, let's get on.
Hey, we don't slime shame the Borg Queen on this channel.
Well,
Heather, we don't slam. You don't insult Luwaks on a Troy. You
That's
don't.
right.
Like,
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you had a last word on this one yet, Heather?
I say the Borg is worse.
Okay, cool.
okay.
All right.
Let's go
Next.
clockwise tonight, guys. So underneath in my screen here is Heather. So let's bring up Heather's.
Oh wow.
Hey, we got Sam here tonight.
This one was an interesting pick, Heather. I'm excited to talk about this one. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Sam. Welcome.
Sam.
Was
Get ready for some deep shit, Sam.
Pressman a member of Section 31 and Pegasus one of their projects?
Mm-hmm. Well, Heather, what do you think?
Yes,
up
obviously, yes, clearly. So it's Merry Christmas week.
You did.
Almost,
Thanks. Merry
Sam.
Christmas.
So it was an illegal cloaking device in the Pegasus. It completely undermined the Treaty of Aldron. It did a million shady things. Pressman came on board and was shady from the get-go, and it was all very undercover vibes. All of the former discussion and paper trail of the Pegasus from back in the day was wiped out of the Starfleet records. Picard couldn't find anything about it. He had to ask Will about it directly. All of those things point to Section 31, and it was never brought up in private discussions between Pressman and Riker because first rule of Section 31 is the same as the first rule of Fight Club. You do not talk about it. So I think that Pressman was a Section 31 operative, and if Will Riker had been a different person, he may have gone into Section 31 as well.
Well, that was my next question. What is the continuing legacy of Section 31 over his career in that case?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does that recast his decision to stay in the Enterprise, passing up 3 commands, for instance? But that's maybe outside the scope of this question.
Everything you said, Heather, is very true. The only counter, I was trying to think about this one, like what's the counter argument to this one? The biggest counter, at least, I think, to that idea is Section 31 seems to work outside of the regular rank and file, at least the regular, like, very career rank and file. Yes, they had like Malcolm or whatever, but like they usually sort of just like tap into an admiral for a minute or a captain, but they're generally not in Section 31. So somebody who had this very storied and, overseen career like Pressman, it just seems to be not what their members do. So it's almost like I feel like if this is true, it's probably more likely that he's like a Ross figure, like in DS9, where he sort of just worked with them for a little bit. Like he knows he's not in Section 31, but this is one of their projects, and he just happens to like it, and he's willing to go to bat for it. That's
maybe we need to make a distinction here, which is operative and real in the intelligence world, between an operative and an asset.
Right.
I think, Pressman could easily have been an asset of Section 31, knowledgeable that he was working with secret people who were able to bring him stuff that was going to both advance his career, but also allow him to explore the security and sort of defense agenda that seems to have characterized much of his interest in Starfleet. And yeah, I mean, to me, he makes a lot of sense as an asset. Not actually inside the organization, but intimately associated with, of use to, and ultimately deniable in the event of exposure.
I really like that interpretation. And I think it does make more sense that he's an asset rather than an operative. But what I was thinking about, Davin, when you were saying is that we haven't seen historically Section 31 ranking officers. They're usually, in the shadows and shady, but of course, hiding in plain sight,
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
I do really like the asset interpretation because I think that's very likely.
Do we all agree that, like, at least Project Pegasus has Section 31 written all over it? Like, I think so.
I mean, it's at least the sort of extreme covert end of Starfleet intelligence or sort of defense planning. Now, mind you, I think partly the challenge with all this is that, of course, this episode I think it predates any mention in DS9 of Section 31, which I think occurs only in like season 5 or later.
We're doing fun headcanon stuff here.
And so this would have been, right, DS9 starts in mid-season 90.
Yeah, it was way after next
right?
at this point.
So it's like, it's the 6th or 7th season in there somewhere.
Yeah, DS9 was...
Or am I right? 93?
Well,
I may be way off.
Section 31 came in late into
DS9. That's right. It was like December 92 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, it was later in DS9. Like Next Generation was well done by this point.
Yes.
And
so in one sense, like it makes a lot of sense that there's no mention of that in this episode, because it wasn't really, in terms of the writing or the development of the sort of world, it wasn't a piece of this that was sort of living vocabulary by that point. It doesn't mean that the question isn't live, but I think it makes a lot of sense of why we hear nothing about it and have no mention of it in that episode. It wasn't really something in the consciousness of that writer particularly. But we know that Section 31 is there throughout.
Oh, yeah, Sam. Good to see you, bud.
I feel like, personally, every time that Section 31 or even Black Ops and Starfleet comes up, I'm a little disappointed with Starfleet. I just... they have this ideal of Starfleet that's higher than everybody else, and the fact that they have to do this, and they do, but they have to do this is sort of disappointing to me. But when I watch this episode, I go, "Oh, really? They did that?" I was disappointed, and but there's the whole. I think just like you'll hear. Stories about, let's talk about the bomb that went over on the Indianapolis, to wherever it took off from in the Philippines, I guess. The crew didn't know anything about it. The captain knew, and maybe some high-ranking officers on the Indianapolis knew what they were doing. That's all. And I think, you have always somebody's going to know that there's some black ops or some stuff going on. But I don't think he was a member of Section 31 by any means. I think he was, that captain's going to agree with this. Let's use him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
usually they grab a dirty admiral. I guess he was an admiral by that point. Oh no, but not back in the early Pegasus days, right? He still would have been a captain.
He would have been a captain.
So that. But we've also seen that Section 31 existed in the days of Enterprise. So it's like so that easily.
I think one of the challenging pieces of this is the ways in which intelligence services tend to use ambiguity, confusion, and layered false and true information to construct an impossible scenario to sort of coherently picture, right? There's a really excellent picture of this in, I've forgotten the author's name right now, but it's a book about, I think it's just called The Jakarta Method, which is a book about the way the CIA sort of worked to kill a couple million communists in Indonesia in the 60s by the use of these sorts of like methods that dither the ability to critically respond in your thinking, you know?
Mhm.
And it feels like this is the kind of stuff that Section 31 is still continuing. But it's also true that I think we see that it's ultimately a rogue thing almost from the beginning. When we see Malcolm meeting with them, they predate Starfleet in some sense, right? They're part of that
Yeah,
United
they're part of the
Earth
initial
government,
charter, sort of.
ultimately,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, maybe the
It's funny,
the
though.
initial sort of mandate for Earth Starfleet or something like that. But
What you said about like the dithering of the responding and everything, that's exactly kind of what happened to Will Riker in his like response to defending Pressman too. Like he didn't have enough time to process that whole situation, so he just instinctively sided with his captain.
But yeah, I think you're right, because what they also do very well is they give people pieces of information. You don't need to know everything. Like if we're not in Section 31, you don't need to, your job is this. Go do this.
Sure.
You don't, right? And Dave, your job can go do that. And you don't necessarily put the pieces together. So you create something in your mind. The captain's always right, no matter what. And we're going to defend them. But there's
fascinating detail in that with the project that builds the atom bomb, right?
Exactly.
Where that kind of siloing of information is actually critical to the security of the project,
yes,
let alone its actual function. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Section 31 takes us to crazy places, I think, is the what this discussion demonstrates.
So far, we've talked about time episodes, which drive me nuts, and now Section 31, which makes it even crazier. So,
would anyone disagree with Captain Pressman was a stooge for Section 31, and it was probably a project that they supported?
I think that they were behind it.
It makes a lot of sense.
100%. But I do believe he was,
or at least loved it. Like Starfleet, just like, oh, this is a great idea, but we can't do it. It would, screw over the Treaty of Algernon and all that. We can't do it. But then a Section 31 agent just like, oh, look what I saw. And then
we've got a captain. We can pin everything on if something goes badly. We can.
Yes, exactly. Like that's why I said stooge. Like he's the we don't care about Pressman. Like,
yep. And that's the beauty of deniability in that case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think had they been talking about Section 31 during TNG, this would absolutely have been an episode where they were.
I would have come up at least.
Yeah, but in some ways, it feels like TNG in that sense was much more about talking about the, they're interested in the Obsidian Order, in the Tal Shiar, in those things, but they're not in that sense as interested in speaking about the Federation doing that. That's not the Enterprise's job, oddly enough.
No, I mean they straight up said we're from Starfleet. We don't lie.
Right? We don't use money anymore.
Like
except when we do.
I really like that during this discussion, I full on would have said that Pressman was a Section 31 operative, but discussing it with you has changed my mind. Downgraded from operative to asset, and then downgraded to stooge. Because if things, I agree with that even more. If things had gone south, they would have been able to wrap it up in a bow, and just classify everything else, and then it's gone.
And they did pin it on him, but he's such a son of a bitch. He pinned it on his traitorous crew, and they knew he was that kind of a bastard too. Like, what a Pressman.
Can you imagine what kind of ship he was running? And how dithered Will's ability to figure out what was right and what his captain wanted
Mhm.
by the time this whole mission comes up. And he's the perfect ship to run that on, and he's the perfect guy to use.
And in that episode,
You're
you realize it
absolutely right.
rattled him for his entire career.
Yeah.
That decision, and it's just like he's like crap. Like what? That's a start. Like you're this young officer. It's just like, man, Starfleet's pretty real. It gets pretty real out here. It's just like, man.
Well,
Yeah.
and I guess that's part of what I was wondering about with like, does it play into why he keeps refusing command? I mean, we all know that's part of like,
Yeah,
he
I
worked
think
for
it
the show
does.
and they didn't want to get rid of Jonathan Frakes, but at some point they bring it up in the series that like, really, you should be a captain somewhere by now.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Frakes is like, I've got a like, partly I've got a great thing going here. I'm on the best ship in the fleet. I'm like working with my Imzadi. Like all of this is working for me, and I can also sort of build my career, but not put myself into position to become a pressman just yet.
You don't want to be a pressman.
Ooh, it's almost worse than being Herbert.
I feel like we've come to a place there. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think we have. Let's move on.
All right. Let's answer this question first here from the comments. Sam says we need a topic of what episodes could be considered Christmas episodes. Now, I would suggest Christmas. Exactly. Generations is the Christmas Trek.
That's
and the Voyager episode where they hide on a Christmas tree. Those are the Christmas episodes of Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Q, like they're hiding from Q and they hide on a Christmas tree. Or no, that's TNG. No, that's Q. That's the one where like they released the Q guy from the ice block. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of like my favorite Q episode actually because I like that one.
Thank you for the dolly, Papa.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I just love that guy from that Voyager episode too. That Q. He's just like, they're afraid of me because they're afraid of the unknown. That guy's great. All right.
You know how they talk about? They were talking about like we have no use for money in our time. We have no use for Christmas. Like
Picard does. He dreams of it.
Oh yes,
clearly.
Good old French Christmas from the countryside.
Oh yeah,
British Christmas.
Although I spent at least one Christmas in northern France, and one of my favorite things about it was discovering that like right around the sort of end of December, in the hardware stores, two things show up: ducklings and bière de Noël. Because the ducklings you're going to raise, and then you're going to eat a duck, and Christmas beer, bière de Noël. It's like I don't know if it's like a legal dispensation or like people, but it's basically like homebrewed beer that people like put up into the hardware store somehow.
Stick a little cinnamon in there.
Like, it looks like the stuff you'd like do in your basement with like the stick on things, and yeah, it was great stuff. I was so delighted by this. I bought like 2 bottles of the bière de Noël, and it's very
and a wrench.
Well, I didn't buy the duckling, which was the real victory. Like, what am I going to do with the duckling at Vimy Ridge?
All right. Well, we didn't launch a probe for yours, so we got no information back from that. You know what? We'll do it. We'll do it in retrospect.
Probe away.
All right. There we go. It's coming in. The data's coming in. All right. Let's fire another one.
Okay. Over to you, Davin.
All right. Is transporting the safest way to travel? Now, the reason I picked this one is I feel like we have enough opinions and information to put it to bed. So, Dave and I have been talking to some experts in the fields of metaphysics, astrophysics, biology,
ontology,
and somehow this question ended up into all of our talks with those people, and we got some different results. So our biologist says that in fact transporting is indeed a murder cloning machine, and if you want to travel safely, do not take a transporter. That's what Dr.
Yeah.
Mohammed Noor would have you believe. And then we asked an astrophysicist, Dr. Aaron McDonald. We said Dr. Aaron McDonald is transporting like the safest way to travel, and she was sort of with Mohammed Noor on this one. She's just like,
Murder
no,
machine.
it's a murder cloning machine. Yeah,
And she is like
take a shuttle.
an active person on Star Trek. Like, let's face
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
She's
Yeah,
been
exactly. She worked. Well, so does Noor. I mean, Mohammed Noor consults for them too. They're like,
Oh man.
they're pro transporter, but they're
So
like,
far,
don't
2
get in
out of
one.
2 scientists agree.
Yeah, and then we of course
We're almost at a tube of toothpaste.
the metaphysicist we had, Dr. Richard Hanley, on, which is probably my favorite episode of Locutors of Trek. I love that talk. Go watch it, everybody. It's fascinating. Well, though they're all good. Locutors of Trek. Look at this network. Anyway, but anyway,
Just ask for a second.
but Richard Hanley would suggest, well, he said to me that if they were to transport me, that they're just gonna throw most of me out anyway. He's just
Oh my
like,
god,
look,
his analogy with a JPEG was amazing.
he just looks at me. He goes, look. He kept calling me Devan, and I didn't bother correcting him because I don't like people call me Gavin. I don't correct them. They call me Darren. I don't correct them. I don't care. No one says my name right. I'm over it. He goes, look, Devan, if we're going to transport you, I'm pretty confident we're going to throw most of that out anyway. And I said, I'm just like, you don't need it. He's just like, you don't need it. And I'm like, and then he goes, well, think of a JPEG. He's just like, because like a JPEG will take an image, a bitmap image, and like, what do they throw? It's like 90% or something. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they throw like 90% of the information and compress it down to an image that to the human eye is the So he's just like, that's what transporting is. He's like, you don't need all that extra stuff, but everything that's you can be compressed into a JPEG, and we'll send that. And like, that's what we're working with. Because he's like, you know, grasping the entirety of oneself in like every aspect and molecularly. He's like, that's a lot. He's like, and that does seem impossible. He's like, but you don't need to do that. He's just like, so he's convincing. Like, I'm telling you, it was a great talk. But I don't know. I still lean murder cloning machine myself.
That it was a murder cloning machine, but I think he ultimately said that
doesn't matter. Yeah,
it doesn't matter because the self subsists through it. Or like,
and you're not only that, yourself is like 10% of what you think it is.
This is much like the first question. Like, if you don't know what's going on to your body, like, I mean, you know, if you're going to come out feeling like you're the same person or the same timeline.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's just like, you'll think you're the same person, so who cares?
Send me through it. I'm good.
Okay, well, Adam's convinced. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Richard Hanley's going to convince a lot of people with that argument.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can you take any imperfections, like, and all that stuff? Yes, you can. Like, get rid of all the, you know.
Well, we're throwing out 90% of that.
That does happen, right? Like, they run people through a pattern buffer, and right? I think when they beam the folks from the 21st century aboard, they correct various things as they.
Oh yeah, they take out the cancer.
Like, we just got rid of a batch of crap as we went. But that basically means they're telling the computer, well, just rebuild them healthy human lungs. You know?
Yeah.
Let's change this question. Is transporting not the safest way to travel? Is transporting better than a gym membership?
I don't want to go to the gym. I want a healthy body on the transport. Just send me.
It does. Huh?
This is really interesting, though. Why would you age if you just kept going through the pattern buffer? Like,
well, Richard Hanley talked about that too. He's just like the transporter. That like he was pretty convincing that the transporter, along with like basically holodeck technology, solves pretty much everything. He's just like, they don't need ships or anything.
No,
like,
you just
send holographic representations of everything, even the environments, and you're just like, no one ever has to like do all this like months and months of space travel. Like, yeah, so you know, smart guy.
Yeah, I mean, he should have disassembled Star Trek pretty fast.
We could come
Yeah.
together for this evening every other week at Davin's basement, for crying out loud.
That's
Yes.
where we're at now.
You know, like, honestly, this would be fantastic. Let's just meet at Davin's tonight at 8 o'clock. We're done. We're over there.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll all rub the blessed exchequer here and
Yes.
gain great
All
profits
leg
for
along forward,
ourselves
right? It'll be
and our
amazing.
families. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, in some ways, Star Trek is sort of going in that direction with the EMH and with all that sort of thing, right? You know, with ships laced with holoprojectors. And we know
Mhm.
that what is the thing that stabilizes the Doctor to wander around outside the holodeck?
Mobile emitter.
Mobile
26th or 28th century, I forget what
27th.
technology. We know that's going
Big.
on. You know, by then. So
No, that's too far.
I mean, Hanley's point is really prescient in that respect, in that, and maybe also explains, you know, aliens here on Earth. You never know. You know, why would you send somebody somewhere else when you could just send a little
Yeah.
light projector and drop a holo drone on the surface that can look like whatever you want and do whatever you want. You
Like
know?
Hanley had a lot of good workarounds for a lot of things. It's like, yeah, space travel is possible. Don't worry about space travel. Yeah, like transporting some murder machine. Don't worry about murder machines. He's just like,
I mean,
I felt like comforted at the end of that episode. I'm just
You
like,
don't ever leave
I
me-
feel all right about everything.
That's great. Oh my god.
I mean, it is one of those funny traits of the analytical tradition. Like, just don't worry about it. It doesn't really
Don't
matter.
worry about it, man. It's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
So the question, is it the safest way to travel? It's the safest way to do a lot of things, Davin.
Yeah, it's well, you can be healthy. You can like remove plagues.
Don't need to age. You know, I think there's going to be accidents.
But
Like,
that's
just
not perfect. It's like Mohammed Noor told us in our talk with Mohammed Noor. I asked him if like people should beam down in like just their Starfleet jumpsuits, and he's just like, no. He's like, of course you can like remove stuff in the transporter, but he's like, well, what if it kills you before you go in the transporter? He's just like, so
Yeah.
So it's not like a cure-all.
No, but like I said, you know, there's a lot of planes flying every day, and occasionally there's a crash, and it happens. There's going to be accidents.
Yes, Adam, you had to debate this on Debate 9. Like this was my question, and you had debated against. I don't remember who. Might have been you, Dave. I'm not sure.
Might have been.
But yeah, and that's what you said. You're like, I do all this with planes all the time, and like, so there you go.
Yeah.
There's risk with any mode of travel, but the benefits of transporter technology greatly outweigh the danger, in my opinion. So yeah, let's go. Let's transport. Boom.
Well, you know, the other thing there is that, you know, we know that from at least the 22nd century, it is just like a fact in the Federation that the Katra is a thing. You know, that there is a persistent self-reflexive consciousness beyond bodily death. So in that sense, why is anybody worried about transport? Like the actual thing that's you, that core relationality, which Penrose and Hammeroff even these days describe as orchestrated objective reduction.
The 10%, in other words.
Exactly. Like that thing is going to carry across, and we'll just build you a body that's like the DNA scan we have already, right? We have your complete medical records aboard. We know where all your molecules are anyway. It's just a fascinating relationship.
But somehow it retains all your memories.
You are just a vessel.
Like that's the crazy part about like what he said about all that. He's just like, even if you throw like somehow it retains all your memories though.
Do I have a soul? Dave.
Yeah, I mean that's the fundamental question of the transporter ultimately.
Or is that like the 10%? Like if we're going with Hanley's thing for a minute and you're throwing 9%, is the 10% that we're keeping just the memories basically and the physical form? You have physical form, you have memories. You don't need anything else.
Well, Friedrich Hayek in his book, The Theory of Psychology, I think that's what it's called, tries to posit this, that you could build up a sketch of all of the sort of relational knowledge, like the related bits of knowledge in a mind, and thus completely picture that mind. And in a certain sense, that seems sort of like what the transporter would be doing somehow. Or it's moving the substrate across, and somehow that mind knows it's attached because it's a non-local series of relationships in the first place. So you just preserve that kind of wave function and pull it around.
What do you think, Adam? Is transporting the safest way to travel?
Yes, I do. I think it is the safest way to travel. It's like, guys, I love eggs. I got to tell you, I love eggs.
Me too. I have 10 chickens outside. I could talk about.
Let me make a point. Let me make a point.
Oh God, this is
right.
the most amazing turn of the whole episode so far. Go for it, man.
I don't like to
egg
think
inside
about,
20 minutes ago.
I don't like to think about where eggs come from. I don't like to think about the whole idea of where, like, it just really, I can't. I like eating the eggs, and I like to move on. Once I start thinking about the eggs, it makes me not feel so good.
I can put you. No, anyway,
hold on. It's like transporting. Once I start like thinking about transporting, like my whole body going apart and then being put back together, but it's not even the real part of it. It's just, who knows? It's a copy.
That's how I feel about planes, Adam.
It's a copy, and well, no, you're playing. At least you're getting onto a plane and getting off of a plane. The same.
You are, but you're getting onto a thing that you have completely no control of.
No, but at least getting off of a thing. Part. Listen, which comes back to being a transporter is more safer because there's copies of you everywhere. Dave, you just said it. They can rebuild me anywhere. They've got a copy of me somewhere.
You're in the buffer.
That's how they do it with Picard.
Poor Franklin. Franklin didn't make it through the buffer.
No, Franklin deserved better.
Oh, yeah.
He deserved better. He sure did.
He did.
But so
Heather. Oh, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Anyway, to the egg transporter analogy.
I gotta put your heart at ease.
I think about it too much. It makes me a little crazy.
No, I sent like Dave eggs the other day that probably still had poop on them.
Oh,
no, they're delicious.
I suspected a Romulan trap right from the start. As
he did, he saw some eggs
beside my doorway. But no,
he sent me a message. He's just like, "Thanks for the eggs. There was no trap." I'm like, "The trap didn't fire."
In fact, what he said was, "Never hire a Reman to do a Romulan's job."
It's true. Fucking Remans don't know how to set a trap worth a shit. Anyway. But that's not Christmas either.
What's your thoughts here?
I just like eggs.
Me too. They have all the nutrients to turn a single cell into a chicken. Think about that. Very healthy.
Flambe, souffle,
I just love eggs, man. No, I do think that transporting is the safest way to travel because the benefits are much greater than the risk. There's going to be accidents no matter what mode of transportation you use. And let me tell you, right now, I would love snap of the finger transportation to wherever I want to go.
I think we'd all love it.
Right this minute.
That's not the question.
And is it a murder clone version of me who arrives?
Probably.
Yes. It's still me. I'm fun. Woo!
According to physics and biology, probably.
Fine by me.
The last doorway I went through. Boom.
Dave, I want to go last.
What?
What do you think? I want to go last.
Oh God. I mean, to me, implicit in the transporter is the mystery of consciousness. But ultimately, I we see what happens with shuttlecraft.
They land safely on planets sometimes.
Sometimes they crash and there's giants that throw massive spears at you. So I think it's ultimately, I think I would end up loving getting onto the transporter pad. I would be like, beam me up, whoever you are on the other side of that thing.
I think I would like getting off the transporter machine more than like getting on it.
Oh, I'm gonna be the.
I really like it
dissenter.
when the plane takes off. That's what I'm saying.
I'm the dissenter on this one. I mean, it's kind of my thing. Like, I'm kind of tight. My hands are in the earth every day, and like biology's my thing. I'm most compelled by Muhammad Noor on this one. See, I'm more tied to the biology of life. I feel. I think we are our biology, and that's the one thing that they're throwing out in their entirety. Like, they're sending all kinds of like information that's just computations of how you think and like what your memories are and that kind of stuff. But there's absolutely not one single friggin' atom of your body that is gonna be on the other side of this process. And to me, that's just a new thing. That's just a murder cloning machine. It might be a great clone. It might be 10% and 90% thrown away clone and still seem the same to all your friends or whatever. But to me, that's not me. So, no, it's not the safest way to travel. I'm not stepping on the transporter pad.
Can I just, as one quick final thought, encourage all of our millions of viewers out there?
We've got millions.
Just to go read Walter Benjamin's The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction as maybe a way to think about this. It just occurred to me, and I think it could be really valuable. Anyway, yeah. Benjamin.
Let's give last word to Sam. Sam thinks you should only murder clone yourself in emergencies.
Switch. Murder clone in case of emergency.
We might die.
It starts as an emergency, then you go, it was really easy. Let me do that again.
I really need chips. It feels like an emergency.
That's right.
Oh, transport me some chips. That is an emergency.
Oh, I would eat transported
Thank
chips.
God for replicators in that case.
I don't care if they're murder clone chips.
Well, that's what.
Did we get some murder clone chips in here? Hey, murder clone chips. Anyway.
Oh man, murder clone me some whiskey on this table. Yeah, exactly.
All right, now we're back to you, Adam. I think I split the panel on that one. You all agreed it's the safest way to travel. Y'all can murder clone yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side.
Well, that was watch the movies.
Yeah. All right, Adam.
I need a probe.
Oh my God, I'm bad with the probes tonight. It's Christmas.
We should destroy the probe.
Oh.
That's okay.
No. Try again.
Oh, Borg.
Okay.
All right,
we're good.
It did not get destroyed this time.
No, Worf hates information. We've talked about this before. He just doesn't want to talk about it. And that's what we do here.
God,
we talk about it. All right, go.
Bring it up, please.
No, sorry.
Okay. Nope, it's not that one.
Whoops.
We're going to talk about transporting.
We're in a timey-wimey loop.
Here we are.
All right. Is Captain Janeway stingy with promotions? And guys, I'm going to argue she is not. And I'll just give you a quick rundown why. And we're kind of late here, but
holiday. There's no late.
Okay, pardon me. I still work tomorrow. There is a
not anymore. You don't. No.
Okay, so Janeway. Think about Janeway and her predicament, right? She gets thrown into the Delta Quadrant. Her crew is decimated. Half of them are gone. She's put together with a Maquis crew. Doesn't know them. And I think the solution was very good. Bringing the two crews together and working together. However, and then following the Starfleet traditions and rules and whatnot. Now, how long were they out there and trying to get back? Years, right? But in a command structure on any Starfleet starship, there is only so many positions you can move into and keep chain of command going. So how could
there's
she
a lot of transfers and stuff in the other shows? Yeah.
Pardon?
That's why there's a lot of transfers and stuff.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of transfer. There's like an academy. You're bringing people in from all this. You don't have you have an unlimited basically pool of people to be pulling from. and an expanding fleet. And you're always putting in new worlds into the Federation and opportunities for people. However, there just wasn't on this voyage as they're making their way back. Now, I think she did a very good job in promoting people within both crews initially, and making some, field commissions of people along the way. But she couldn't do any more, because you still need the lower decks people to do the work. There's got to be people to do the work, whatever level it is. You can't have all officers.
Might I
Honestly,
offer
you only have about a third officers on the whole ship, right? So we're talking maybe 40 officers on Enterprise, 45 officers on Voyager. I mean,
Right.
It's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
Might I offer
Sorry, one more thing. If you think about the original series, particularly, because I think they did it really well there, better than the other shows, they showed the yeomen and the crewmen and the people who were just doing a lot of the work along the way here. The guys in the jumpsuits, right?
Well, let me offer two counterpoints here, if I may. Oh, sorry, Heather. You go ahead.
I just said Sam agrees with you, Adam.
Oh, thanks, Sam. See, I like Sam a lot. He's been with us since the beginning. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, Sam's a friend.
No bias there.
No.
Here's two kind of counterpoints here. So, on one hand, there's only 3 useful officers on Voyager for most of the time. Well, not counting Tuvok. Like, you don't have to do much in security, and but mostly for the first few seasons, B'Elanna and Harry do everything.
Wait a second.
Harry and B'Elanna do everything in the first few seasons.
You just said security don't do much. They don't ever do much
on Voyager.
Because there's Star Trek.
Oh, fair enough. So, but I love Tuvok. But anyway, for the first few seasons, B'Elanna and Harry are the only useful people, and eventually Seven is like the MacGuffin and just solves everything. But so in that regard, if anyone deserved a promotion, of course it's Harry, because he saves the day every second episode. Because he's literally doing every job. He's on the bridge doing ops, but he's also seemingly their science officer as well, and also they're grunt, because he's just this ensign. So he's doing all the work. So he deserved a promotion more than anyone, but and they kept promoting people around him. Tom, you didn't betray anyone in the last few months. You should get a promotion. So, and to the counterpoint of the Harry Kim argument, I would say promoting a traitor to first officer is not stingy at all as far as promotions go. You just went from wanted man to first officer of the ship. That's the opposite of stingy. But
I think that was
just isn't like Harry.
That was a very strategic move that she needed to do, and it wasn't probably the Starfleet way. Well, it wasn't. It wouldn't. She would never have done it in any other circumstance. She had to do it there. Because she needed his crew.
As sort of an in extremis response.
Yeah, she needed his crew. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah. Because you're right, they're away from anything like a regular command structure. And they need to sort out, who's who on this ship right now.
But if you could promote Tom, why can't you promote Harry from ensign? We've talked about this before. You might have the numbers in your head better than me, Dave, but there's a certain amount of time where people usually spend as ensign, and he far surpassed that. It's not long. It's only a couple.
I think it's 4 to 7 years. I think.
Okay, well, longer than I thought, but it's not long. Super long.
But what even is the point of promoting him? He still has to do all the same work, all the same jobs. He's still the most junior guy there. It's not like they're getting paid.
Well, to that, Because it still advances him in his career, and they're holding out hope that that'll mean something, that they'll get him back to a Starfleet where he can still have like a career and get a ship of his own. So like,
Yeah, well, promote him when you get home. Leave him hungry. Ensign
I
hungry.
guess. And he's only spent a day as a lieutenant as opposed to like 3 years or something.
Yeah, but to Heather's point, it doesn't matter if you're doing the same work.
It matters to his career when he gets home.
Oh, so what's okay? But okay, you just said that he's going to be a lieutenant for a day. But if he's a
That's
lieutenant,
not as good as being lieutenant for 3 years in the eyes of like your next promotion or your next.
but
whatever.
okay, but lieutenant means is that you get the experience of being a lieutenant. if you're a lieutenant doing an ensign's work, it's
Have him do the ensign's work.
But
Like he's not doing the ensign's work. He's saving the ship every 2 days.
But somebody's got to do the ensign's work.
Yeah, not Harry. He's earned it.
But okay. But there is no other Harry.
We may be discovering that Harry Kim is a uniquely sort of gifted character in this scenario, or a uniquely responsible character, maybe who has a unique set of things that he's responding to. But do you think that would hold for everybody who's not Harry Kim?
No,
but we're limited to Voyager, at least in this question.
Yeah,
listen, I think it's really the age-old big problem is what happens when you work in any small organization, and there's only so many positions in the chain where like, you can't move people along the way. And what happens?
Create new positions. Tim Houston did a bunch of that recently.
But if you do, right. But the point being is that
moving long around.
Oh, Nova Scotian gets it, but anyway, continue.
You have nowhere to go. Either you go up or down, or you're out.
Yeah. And we see that early on with our sort of Cardassian, I forget her name, the Cardassian agent who goes over to the. Pardon me.
Seska.
That's right, Seska. Who goes over to
Seska's the worst, though. Screw Seska. She's not a nice person.
But she ends up out, right? Like she can't remain within the group ultimately.
No. She wasn't getting promoted.
But and Cass is another one who can't stay.
Actually, Janeway loves traders. She might have given her like second officer.
He only loves traders when she's abandoned
promoted before Harry
for months.
And
then they never talk about that again.
So Harry Kim, the guy who what's his name? Gavin Wang, right?
Garrett Wang.
Karen Wang. Oh
Garrett
my gosh,
Wang.
I was really wrong. Anyway, he on the cruise, the Star Trek cruise, he was talking about his job there. And in the beginning, he was he loved his role. He was young. So he would do all of the shootings Monday to Friday, and then Friday night shoot off to Vegas every weekend, and then roll in to work late on Mondays, apparently. And then the showwriter at the time, the showrunner, she called him in the office and said, "Listen, you're not coming back if you don't get your shit together." And so I think that they were really toying with the idea of, not promoting him and actually getting him off the show. So they were probably just sort of held him back, actually, because of the way he was behaving in real life as well.
Wow.
So
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that. Sorry, your character getting promoted. Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
Will Wheaton tells a story where between seasons he was angling for a raise because the show was such a hit, and they said, well, we can't give you a raise, but we will promote you to lieutenant. And he was like, you'll promote my fictional character to a fictional lieutenant on a fictional starship instead of paying me actual money.
So you guys are saying Rick Berman is stingy, not James.
Yeah, yes. I think we can all agree on that. Anyway, I think that would be so petty and crazy if they actually did not promote his character because he acted like a dick outside of the show.
I think this would happen.
He was just like enjoying having money for the first time in his life.
Yes.
You know that Robert Duncan McNeil?
Oh.
Great guy. Great guy. We're going to give him so many promotions on this show and a pay raise in real life.
That's right. He shows up on time. We can count on him to be here. That's exactly what happened. I guarantee you.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
And why would they give a promotion to somebody they're going to fire?
The Star Trek Production Union. Oh, yeah, all that Hollywood stuff
Yeah.
is union.
oh
Yeah.
All of it.
SAG actor.
But you still got to show up on time, Sam.
Yeah, so show up on time.
Not if
I
you're in
don't.
the union.
I work for myself. Yeah, well, where do we land on this one then?
I personally don't think she was stingy. I think she did what she had to do and could do.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think this problem exists because of Harry Kim.
Yeah, it does exist because of Harry Kim, but I'm
And
like,
really because of Garrett Wong.
Because
Never mind.
he deserved
excelled.
the promotion. He deserves.
And
the
I don't
promotion.
think anybody here necessarily disagrees with that, but I don't think that fact makes Janeway stingy with promotions.
She's just
dealing
stingy with Harry
a
Kim.
virtuoso clarinet and she doesn't know what to do with them. Oh man.
All right, I'm not going to dissent with the group on this one because I still think promoting Trader to first officer is pretty great in the promotion front, and hologram to head of medical, and she made some decisions like rando, that they picked up on the road to ambassador.
We need to
she
talk
promotes pretty readily.
we have to talk more about the EMH, that whole character, because
we did go back and watch that episode. It's called Photons and Force Fields.
I know you, but I still want to talk more about it because you can.
Okay,
you could.
Adam tried to pick the same question he picked again in Photons and Force Fields.
It's true, I did. But you
I
can
sent him a picture of him talking about photons and force fields.
Because I like talking about it so much. But you can do anything you want to a hologram. It doesn't matter. You can make it an admiral, for crying out loud. It doesn't matter.
So what we're saying is Admiral
again.
Pressman is a Section 31 hologram.
Yeah.
And that's the safest way to travel. Well, I think
That's
we've done it
the
here, everyone.
safest way to travel.
I think we've tied a bow on this whole episode.
Done it. Good job,
Yeah.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. We all deserve promotions.
God damn,
That's
we're good
right.
at our jobs.
That's
We're
right.
definitely not getting promotions, at least not from Janeway.
Gavin,
I won't be an
next
accident.
time, give us ranks, please. Okay.
That's right.
You're captain here, bud.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. You know what? You can contact
wrap
us
it up.
at
Guys, thank you very much for-
email.com.
I've
go ahead.
enjoyed this one, Heather. It was great having you here.
Yeah, it was
Thank
Heather.
you. Thank you
I
for
think-
having me.
I think 4 is the right number.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So
We've had
everybody,
Admiral
great
Ashley
holiday.
on for a foursome here too, but it's just, so yeah, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
And you can find our audio only version wherever you get your podcasts, and check us out on YouTube, Facebook. Check Sam out. He just got grades and passed all his classes. So that's great.
Congratulations, Sam.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wonderful.
He's
Well
in the
done.
university now. He's doing big things. Big
Mhm.
things.
Nice.
Yep. And we are a proud part of the Swear to Pod Network. And I guess that he says thanks. And I guess that only leaves one thing to say.
And transmission.